He abandoned her the second he saw the baby's skin. "They're not mine." That's all he said before walking out, leaving her in a hospital room full of newborn cries and questions no one dared to answer. 4 perfect babies, dark-skinned, breathing gently against her chest, while the man she loved vanished without looking back. She didn't chase after him. She bled in silence, wiped her own tears, and learned to hold her babies with arms that shook from exhaustion, but never let go. She stood between them and a world that stared too long at their skin, judged too fast with whispers behind closed doors, and loved too little when it mattered most. She skipped meals so they wouldn't, smiled through interviews where no one ever called back, and every night she whispered promises into 4 tiny ears, promises she wasn't sure she could keep, but never dared to break. Now, 18 years later, there's a knock at the door. He's back, older, smiling like nothing ever happened. But it's not guilt in his eyes, it's calculation. He's not here for love. He's here because he thinks they've forgotten. Because success looks warm and forgiving from the outside, but behind that door isn't a welcome, it's a reckoning. And what he doesn't know is that every year he was gone, they were remembering and becoming everything he was too weak to stay for. The babies Derek abandoned will grow up to hold the power to destroy everything he built. 3 days pass like a fever dream. Sarah returns from the hospital, carrying Maya, Marcus, Zara, and Isaiah in a borrowed car seat set, her arms aching from their weight. The house feels different. Empty spaces where Derek's presence once filled corners. His belongings have vanished, like he never existed. Closets echo with phantom hangers. The bathroom counter holds only her toothbrush, a lonely soldier standing guard over abandoned territory. The kitchen counter holds Derek's farewell gift, legal papers stamped with official seals. Divorce proceedings initiated, paternity disputed. The words blur through Sarah's tears as she reads, while Maya cries in her arms. The bank account shows a zero balance. $47,000 disappeared overnight. Their life savings evaporated like morning mist. Derek's lawyer has frozen everything, claiming fraud invalidates Derek's financial responsibility. Sarah discovers the cruel efficiency of Derek's abandonment. He contacted his wealthy family first, spinning a story of betrayal that poisoned every well. His mother's voicemail message plays on repeat in Sarah's memory. "You've embarrassed our family enough, dear." The fertility clinic reveals their dirty secret through stammering phone calls and legal deflection. Dr. Raymond Torres had been using unauthorized donor sperm when patients' samples proved insufficient. Derek's low sperm count meant their children came from a stranger's genetics. But the doctor's nephew specifically, a black medical student whose donated sample got mixed into dozens of procedures. Sarah sits on her kitchen floor at 3 in the morning, feeding Maya while her siblings sleep in makeshift cribs. She couldn't afford 4 proper bassinets, so laundry baskets lined with blankets hold Marcus, Zara, and Isaiah. Her part-time job at the country club ended with a polite phone call about restructuring. The neighborhood whispers follow her like smoke. Grocery store conversations stop when she appears. Former friends cross the street with theatrical timing. Derek's version of events spreads through their affluent community like wildfire. The unfaithful wife, the scandal, the embarrassment to decent families. Sarah's public defender, overwhelmed and underpaid, fights Derek's team of corporate lawyers with noble futility. The local news picks up the story. IVF scandal destroys marriage. Sarah watches herself on television, walking to her car with 4 babies, portrayed as either victim or villain depending on the reporter's mood. Derek moves into a luxury apartment across town with his new girlfriend, Brittany. She's 26, blonde and uncomplicated. She asks simple questions that Derek answers with calculated precision. "You really think they're not yours?" Brittany traces patterns on Derek's chest as they lie in his king-sized bed. "DNA doesn't lie." Derek adjusts his Rolex, a nervous habit that betrays his certainty. "And neither does my reputation." But hidden in his nightstand drawer, a sealed envelope marked confidential paternity results tells a different story. Derek has known the truth for months. He's not the biological father. but he remains the legal father under state law. His abandonment isn't based on genetics. It's based on cowardice. The eviction notice arrives on a Tuesday morning, stamped with red ink like a wound. 30 days to vacate the only home the children have ever known. Derek's perspective shifts to watching from a distance, hiring private investigators to monitor the family he abandoned. He tells himself it's concern, but it's really control, needing to know they're suffering enough to justify his choices, but not so much that guilt consumes him. 5 years have passed since Derek walked away. Through surveillance photos and investigator reports, he watches Sarah struggle with the dignity of a wounded animal protecting her young. She works 2 jobs now: medical billing during daylight hours, cleaning office buildings after dark. The children, now 5 years old, attend kindergarten with hand-me-down clothes and packed lunches that stretch ingredients like magic tricks. Derek studies photos of Sarah picking up the children after school, her face drawn with exhaustion, but her smile genuine when she sees them. The investigators report that she's enrolled in night classes, studying to become a certified medical technician. Higher pay, more stability. She does homework at the kitchen table while the children color beside her, their parallel concentration a portrait of determination. Maya emerges as the family's little general, 3 minutes older than her siblings and infinitely more protective. She helps Marcus tie his shoes, shares her lunch with Zara when cafeteria portions run small, and asks Isaiah to read to her, even though she's already reading chapter books herself. The children's personalities develop like photographs in a dark room, slowly revealing their true natures. Maya wants to be a lawyer after watching courtroom dramas on their small television. Marcus draws constantly, turning napkins and receipt backs into canvases for his imagination. Zara runs everywhere, her athletic grace evident even at 5. Isaiah asks questions that stump adults, his curiosity about science already legendary among their teachers. Derek receives regular reports about their achievements. Maya's perfect attendance, Marcus winning the school art contest, Zara getting selected for the advanced PE program, Isaiah reading at a 3rd grade level in kindergarten. Each success feels like an accusation, evidence of what he walked away from. Their support system forms organically around need and kindness. Mrs. Elena, their 65-year-old Mexican neighbor, watches the children for free while Sarah works late shifts. Pastor James from the community center provides after-school care in exchange for Sarah's weekend volunteer work. Tasha, a single mother from Sarah's cleaning job, becomes Sarah's closest friend and emergency contact. Derek reads investigator reports about Maya's first question regarding race. A classmate asked why her skin looked different from her mother's. Sarah's response, captured by a telephoto lens through their apartment window, shows her kneeling to Maya's eye level, speaking with animated gestures and gentle touches. "You grew in my belly," Sarah explains to Maya, the investigator's report notes. "You're mine in every way that matters. Skin color doesn't change love." Derek crumples the report, disturbed by its intimacy. He's paying strangers to watch moments he should have witnessed firsthand. The photographs show Sarah's transformation from abandoned wife to fierce mother. She loses weight from stress and long hours, but gains something more valuable: unshakable confidence in her choices. She enrolls in night classes while the children sleep, studying medical terminology and laboratory procedures by lamplight. One surveillance photo captures a moment that haunts Derek for weeks. Sarah sits in an empty office building at midnight, eating a gas station sandwich during her cleaning break. 4 school photographs are spread on the desk before her. Maya, Marcus, Zara, and Isaiah, all wearing donated clothes but genuine smiles. Sarah touches each photo like a prayer. Derek stares at this image for hours, wondering what thoughts occupy Sarah's mind during those solitary moments. Does she regret keeping his children? Does she blame him or herself? Does she ever miss the life they planned together? The investigator's final report of the year notes that all 4 children made the honor roll. Maya leads her class in reading comprehension. Marcus's artwork hangs in the school hallway. Zara qualified for the district track meet. Isaiah won the school science fair with a project about DNA inheritance that made his teacher cry. Derek files the report with hundreds of others, a paper trail of the life he chose not to live. His new life with Brittany feels increasingly hollow compared to the richness of struggle and triumph documented in surveillance photos. Sarah receives a phone call at work, jarring her from patient files and insurance claims. The lawyer's voice sounds official and vaguely threatening. "Mrs. Mitchell, we need to discuss your children's biological father. There's been a development." Maya's perspective takes center stage as the family's story explodes into public consciousness. At 18, she serves as valedictorian of her graduating class, her speech about resilience and family strength earning standing ovations from classmates who've watched her journey. Marcus stands beside her at graduation, his art scholarship to the state university representing triumph over poverty and prejudice. Zara wears her varsity jacket with pride, her basketball captaincy opening doors to Division I opportunities. Isaiah, quiet and brilliant, holds his MIT acceptance letter like a treasure map to the future. The family's private story becomes public when investigative journalist Rebecca Chen discovers Dr. Torres's unauthorized sperm donation scheme. Dozens of families suffered similar fates. But the Mitchell case becomes the centerpiece of Chen's exposé because of the children's extraordinary achievements despite abandonment. The story hits social media like wildfire. Wealthy father abandoned quadruplets after IVF mix-up. Children now excel without him. The hashtag trends nationally, sparking debates about race, fatherhood, and reproductive ethics. Maya watches their family's pain transformed into entertainment. Memes circulate using their old family photos, strangers dissecting their trauma for viral content. Comment sections overflow with opinions from people who've never met them, judging Sarah's choices and Derek's character with keyboard warrior confidence. The media attention brings unexpected consequences. Dr. Rebecca Stone, chief administrator at the medical center where Sarah works as a senior technician, calls her into the office with uncomfortable formality. "Sarah, this media attention is problematic for our family-oriented practice," Dr. Stone explains, her words coded but clear. "Patients are asking questions. Perhaps you should consider a leave of absence." Maya recognizes the euphemism immediately. Sarah is being fired for being a victim, punished for surviving publicly. Derek's real estate empire faces immediate backlash. Protesters gather outside his office buildings holding signs reading "Deadbeat Dad" and "Abandoned Quads." His current wife Jessica threatens to leave with their 2 young children unless he fixes this mess. The children react differently to their sudden fame. Maya channels anger into action, researching legal options and media strategies. Marcus withdraws into his art, painting abstract pieces that reflect his emotional turmoil. Zara wants to confront Derek directly, her athlete's mentality demanding face-to-face resolution. Isaiah approaches the situation analytically, studying public relations disasters and their resolutions. At school, classmates show Maya a meme using their family photo with the caption, "When you order a husband online versus what arrives." Maya's face burns with humiliation, but she maintains composure that would make trial lawyers proud. The family faces financial crisis again, as Sarah loses her job, and legal bills mount from harassment lawsuits against media outlets using their images without permission. Eviction threatens once more, this time from their modest apartment. Maya holds a family meeting in their cramped living room, her siblings sitting on second-hand furniture that served them well for years. "We survived without him before," Maya declares, her voice carrying authority beyond her 18 years. "We'll survive this, but this time we're not just surviving," Marcus adds, his artistic sensitivity revealing deeper truths. "We're going to thrive." Outside their apartment building, reporters camp like vultures waiting for carrion. The family can't leave without being photographed, their private moments transformed into public spectacle. Sarah sits in her car outside their building, afraid to go inside where cameras might follow. She calls Tasha, her voice breaking for the first time in years. "Maybe I should have stayed quiet," Sarah whispers. "Maybe I brought this on them." "Sarah, you didn't do anything wrong," Tasha responds with fierce loyalty. "He did, and the world finally sees it." Derek's crisis management team suggests damage control through charitable donations and public apologies, but his pride refuses to acknowledge wrongdoing. He watches news coverage from his luxury apartment, surrounded by artwork and furniture that cost more than Sarah's annual salary. His current children, 8 and 6 years old, face bullying at their private school. Classmates know their father as the man who abandoned 4 babies because of their skin color. Jessica packs their belongings with methodical fury. "Fix this, Derek," Jessica demands, her ultimatum clear. "Or lose this family too." The siblings hold hands in their shared bedroom, a ritual from childhood that still brings comfort. They've never had enough space for separate rooms. But their closeness became strength rather than burden. "We protect each other first, always," Zara reminds them, her voice carrying the authority of someone who's led teams to victory. A black sedan pulls up outside their apartment building, its tinted windows hiding the passenger inside. The visitor emerges from the sedan wearing confidence like expensive cologne. Jonathan Hayes, 45 years old, stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, with skin the same rich brown as the children he's come to meet. His $3,000 suit speaks of success, but his nervous energy reveals vulnerability beneath polished surfaces. Jonathan's law firm occupies 3 floors of downtown's most prestigious building. His corner office overlooks the city like a general surveying conquered territory. But today, he stands outside a modest apartment complex, holding documents that will change 8 lives forever. "Mrs. Mitchell, my name is Jonathan Hayes," he says when Sarah opens the door, her defensive posture softening at his respectful tone. "I believe your children are my biological children." The revelation unfolds like origami in reverse, complicated folds becoming simple truths. Dr. Torres, Jonathan's uncle, confessed on his deathbed to using Jonathan's sperm samples in unauthorized procedures. Jonathan had stored samples for future IVF with his ex-wife, but their marriage ended before they started a family. Those samples became Dr. Torres's secret weapon against infertility, distributed to dozens of unsuspecting couples. "I've been searching for my biological children for 2 years, Jonathan explains, his voice carrying weight of suppressed emotion. "I never expected to find 4 brilliant teenagers who've overcome so much." Sarah studies Jonathan's face, seeing echoes of her children in his features. Maya's determined jaw, Marcus's expressive eyes, Zara's athletic build, Isaiah's intellectual intensity, all reflected in this stranger who shares their genetics. Jonathan's investigation reveals Derek's calculated deception. The sealed envelope hidden in Derek's nightstand contained DNA results proving he wasn't the biological father, but also confirming his legal paternity under state law. Derek chose abandonment over embarrassment, preferring to destroy his family rather than face social judgment. "He's known the truth for years," Jonathan explains, spreading legal documents across Sarah's kitchen table. "He could have stayed and sued the clinic for millions. Instead, he chose to walk away." The financial revelation strikes like lightning. Derek has been receiving settlement money from the IVF clinic since the children's birth, nearly $200,000, designated for the children's care and education, money that legally belongs to them, money Derek has used to fund his new life while his abandoned children struggled. "He's been getting paid for abandoning us?" Marcus asks, his artistic sensitivity making him especially vulnerable to betrayal. "Worse," Jonathan replies. "He's been using your pain as profit." Meeting the children feels like looking into a funhouse mirror that reflects Jonathan's best qualities amplified. Maya's intelligence combines with fierce protection for her siblings. Marcus's creativity flows from pain transformed into beauty. Zara's athleticism carries emotional strength that sustains the family. Isaiah's scientific mind seeks truth in a world full of deception. "Where have you been?" Maya asks, her directness cutting through polite conversation. "I didn't know you existed," Jonathan answers with equal honesty. "But now that I do, I want to be part of your lives, if you'll let me." Jonathan's proposal carries legal and emotional complexity. He wants to establish parental rights while respecting the family bonds forged through shared struggle. He offers financial support, educational opportunities, and emotional stability without demanding gratitude or immediate acceptance. "This isn't charity," Jonathan clarifies when Sarah expresses concern about disrupting their independence. "This is family, and these children, Our children deserve to know they come from strength on both sides. Sarah wrestles with conflicting emotions. Gratitude for Jonathan's support wars with protective instincts honed through 18 years of single motherhood. She's raised these children alone, making every decision, bearing every burden. Jonathan's presence represents help she desperately needs, but also change she's not sure she wants. The legal strategy unfolds like a chess game, with Derek as the unwitting opponent. Jonathan proposes suing Derek for the hidden settlement money, establishing Jonathan's parental rights, exposing Derek's fraud publicly, and pursuing additional damages from the IVF clinic. Each child makes an individual choice about pursuing a relationship with Jonathan. No pressure, no conditions, no expectations beyond honesty and respect. Zara asks the question that defines Jonathan's character. You could have stayed hidden. Why didn't you? Because running away from responsibility is what weak men do, Jonathan answers, his words carrying implied criticism of Derek's choices. I want to show you what strong men do. Jonathan's investigation uncovers the depth of Derek's surveillance operation. Private investigators have been watching the family for years, documenting their struggles and achievements while Derek maintained emotional distance. Birthday parties, school plays, graduation ceremonies. Derek knows about every milestone he chose not to attend. He didn't just abandon us, Isaiah observes with scientific precision. He tried to erase us. The confrontation Derek has been avoiding becomes inevitable when Jonathan presents him with legal documents demanding restitution and accountability. Derek's request for a private meeting reveals his desperation to control a narrative that's already escaped his grasp. But Jonathan's final revelation carries the most explosive potential. Derek's surveillance operation extends beyond simple monitoring. Derek has been secretly monitoring your family for years, documenting everything while hiding his continued legal responsibility. The conference room at Jonathan's law firm feels like a courtroom designed for private judgment. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the city where Derek built his empire on the foundation of abandoned children. The mahogany table reflects fluorescent lights like a mirror, forcing everyone to see themselves clearly. Derek arrives 15 minutes late, a power play that backfires when he realizes the children no longer see him as powerful. He wears his most expensive suit, Italian leather shoes that cost more than Sarah's monthly grocery budget, and a watch that could fund a college semester. But his armor of wealth feels flimsy against their unified presence. Sarah sits between Jonathan and Maya, her posture reflecting 18 years of carrying weight alone. The children, now young adults, occupy chairs like thrones, their achievements serving as silent testimony to their strength. Maya wears her valedictorian medal. Marcus carries his art portfolio. Zara's varsity jacket drapes her chair, and Isaiah holds his MIT acceptance letter. Derek's opening attempt to control the conversation reveals his fundamental misunderstanding of the power dynamic. Sarah, you look well, Derek begins, his tone suggesting he's granting a favor by acknowledging her existence. Kids, you've grown up. We have names, Maya responds, her voice carrying courtroom authority. Use them. Derek's lawyer, expensive and nervous, shuffles papers while Derek attempts to justify 18 years of abandonment as protective parenting. I was young, scared, Derek explains, his words sounding rehearsed. The scandal would have destroyed my family's business, cost jobs for hundreds of employees. Your family's business? Marcus interrupts, his artistic sensitivity making him especially vulnerable to Derek's casual cruelty. What about your actual family? The first behavioral twist emerges like a jack-in-the-box, springing from hidden compartments. Derek reveals he's been secretly monitoring the children's achievements through private investigators, attending their successes from parking lots and hidden vantage points. I've been proud of you from a distance, Derek claims, producing a manila folder thick with surveillance photos. I have pictures of every milestone. The photos spill across the conference table like evidence at a crime scene. Maya's debate tournament victory, Marcus's art gallery showing, Zara's championship basketball game, Isaiah's science fair triumph, moments of joy captured by telephoto lenses, family celebrations observed but not participated in. You've been stalking us? Zara stands, her athletic frame coiled with controlled fury. I needed to make sure you were okay, Derek responds, his justification revealing the depth of his self-deception. Sarah's voice cuts through his explanation with surgical precision. By never helping, never calling, never sending a single dollar? Jonathan presents the financial evidence with prosecutory efficiency. Derek has collected $200,000 from the IVF clinic over 18 years, money designated for the children's care and education, money he used for fund vacations, luxury purchases, and investment properties, while his legal children struggled. That money was compensation for my emotional distress, Derek argues, his words revealing breathtaking selfishness. For abandoning children you were legally responsible for, Jonathan responds, his legal training evident in precise language. Derek attempts to turn the children against Jonathan, revealing manipulation tactics that define his character. This man isn't your real father either, Derek claims, desperation making him cruel. He's just a sperm donor who got lucky. I'm the one who wanted you before you were born. A second behavioral twist emerges from unexpected sources. Instead of exploding with rage, Isaiah responds with clinical detachment that unnerves Derek more than anger could. Biologically, you're correct, Isaiah begins, his scientific training evident in measured words. Jonathan is our genetic father, you're our legal father, but functionally, we raised ourselves while our mother worked 2 jobs. So none of you were actually fathers. This mature perspective shifts the room's energy, transforming legal confrontation into philosophical examination of fatherhood's definition. Maya delivers the most devastating blow with unexpected grace, her strategy revealing legal mind at work. Derek, I want to thank you, Maya says, her words stopping all conversation. Thank me? Derek asks, confusion replacing calculation. For leaving. You showed us who we never want to become. You taught us that character matters more than genetics. You gave us the gift of knowing we don't need you. Derek's breakdown arrives like dam bursting under accumulated pressure. Faced with his children's strength and unity, he finally shows genuine emotion that's been buried under 18 years of justification. I was terrified, Derek admits, his voice cracking. My father would have disowned me, my business partners, the social circle, everyone would have judged. So you chose strangers over your own children, Sarah observes, her words carrying more weight than accusations. The revelation of Derek's current family crisis adds complexity to his situation. Jessica has threatened to leave him because of media coverage, taking their children to protect them from association with his reputation. Derek faces losing another family because of mistakes he made with his first. Now, I'm losing another family because of mistakes I made with you, Derek confesses, irony sharp in his voice. Good, Zara responds without sympathy. Maybe they'll understand what we felt. Jonathan presents Derek with documents demanding full restitution plus interest, establishment of trust funds for each child's education, and formal acknowledgement of abandonment. The terms are non-negotiable, backed by evidence of fraud and criminal negligence. And if I sign this, Derek asks, his pride warring with practicality. We don't pursue criminal fraud charges for hiding assets, Jonathan explains. Offering mercy, Derek never showed his children. Derek's lawyer whispers urgently in his ear, his face pale as he reviews the evidence against his client. Derek stands abruptly, his composure finally cracking completely. I need time to think, Derek announces, his words revealing how little thinking he's done over 18 years. As he reaches the door, Sarah calls after him with quiet devastation. Derek, they needed time too. 18 years of it. The door closes behind him with finality that echoes the hospital room where his abandonment began. The family gathers in Jonathan's home office that evening, the space feeling more like a sanctuary than a workplace. Law books line mahogany shelves, diplomas and awards cover one wall. But tonight the room serves as a family council chamber where decisions about their future take shape. Sarah sits in a leather chair that costs more than her monthly rent, but she occupies it with dignity, earned through struggle. Jonathan perches on the edge of his desk, respecting the family dynamic while offering support. The 4 children arrange themselves on the couch with unconscious coordination, their unity still their greatest strength. This isn't about revenge, Sarah begins, her voice carrying authority developed through 18 years of making impossible decisions alone. "It's about justice and making sure he can't hurt other families," Maya adds, her legal mind already thinking beyond their personal situation. The family establishes non-negotiable terms with the precision of contract lawyers and the heart of people who've survived betrayal. Full restitution of hidden settlement money, calculated at $347,000 with accumulated interest. Derek profited from their pain for 18 years. Now his profit becomes their foundation. Public acknowledgement of his abandonment and fraud, ensuring other families know the truth about his character. Derek values reputation above all else. His reputation will finally reflect reality. Establishment of college funds for each child, guaranteeing educational opportunities Derek tried to deny them. Maya's law school dreams, Marcus's art education, Zara's sports medicine aspirations, Isaiah's biochemistry research, all will be funded by the man who abandoned them. Derek forfeits all parental rights, permanently, releasing him from responsibilities he never accepted, while preventing future interference in their lives. No future contact unless initiated by the children themselves, giving them control over any relationship with the man who walked away when they needed him most. Jonathan offers to become their legal father but makes his position clear. He's not trying to replace their bond as siblings, or Sarah's role as their primary parent. "I'm not here to be the father you never had," Jonathan explains, his words careful and respectful. "I'm here to be the father you deserve moving forward." The children demonstrate the unbreakable unity forged through shared struggle, their decision-making process reflecting years of protecting each other. "We vote as one on all decisions," Marcus declares, his artistic sensitivity balanced by practical wisdom. "Unanimous or nothing," Isaiah adds, his scientific training demanding rigorous standards. "We protect each other first, always," Zara states, her athletic leadership extending beyond sports. "No one splits us up," Maya concludes with legal precision. "Not Derek, not the media, not even you, Jonathan, with all due respect." Sarah experiences empowerment that's been 18 years in the making. For the first time since Derek's abandonment, she holds all the power in a situation involving her children's father. "I spent years apologizing for his choices," Sarah reflects, her voice carrying new strength. Never again. The family decides to control their narrative through one comprehensive interview that tells their complete story on their terms, refusing to let others define their experience. "If we're going to be public figures," Maya explains, "let's make sure the public knows who we really are." Derek's desperate counter-offer arrives through his lawyer. He'll pay everything requested, but wants visitation rights with his current children, using the abandoned quadruplet success to rehabilitate his image with his other family. "He's trying to use your success to redeem himself with his other kids," Jonathan observes, his legal experience revealing Derek's manipulation. The children's response comes swift and unanimous. "No, we're not props for his redemption story," Marcus states, his artistic integrity rejecting performative reconciliation. The children also establish boundaries with Jonathan, their emotional maturity evident in measured responses to his generous offers. "We appreciate you wanting to help," Zara explains, "but we need to move at our own pace." 18 years of self-reliance doesn't change overnight, Isaiah adds, his scientific mind understanding that emotional healing follows its own timeline. Jonathan respects their boundaries with grace that proves his character. "I understand. I'll follow your lead." Sarah's transformation from frightened young mother to confident woman who knows her worth becomes evident in her final assessment of Derek's impact. "Derek thought leaving would destroy us," Sarah observes with quiet satisfaction. "Instead, it made us indestructible." The family presents Derek with their ultimatum: accept all terms within 48 hours, or face public trial and criminal charges for fraud and abandonment. Maya delivers the message to Derek's lawyer with prosecutorial authority. "Tell him we learned to survive without him. Now he gets to learn to live with his choices." Derek has 24 hours left to decide, when a major news network requests a live national television interview with the family. Derek signs the documents at 11:57 p.m. on the final day, 3 minutes before the deadline expires. No dramatic speech accompanies his capitulation. No grand apology seeks redemption he doesn't deserve. Just legal compliance from a man who finally understands he has no moral authority left to claim. The settlement money transfers electronically, $86,750, appearing in each child's college fund account. Additional educational support flows through Jonathan's network of professional connections, opening doors Derek's abandonment tried to close forever. Derek's public statement, crafted by crisis management professionals, acknowledges his failure as a father and a man, while avoiding specific admissions that might create additional legal liability. The words feel hollow, but their public nature provides closure the family never expected to receive. 6 months later, the family appears together on national television, not as victims seeking sympathy, but as examples of resilience and strength overcoming systemic challenges. The interview takes place in Jonathan's law firm conference room, the same space where Derek faced consequences for his choices. "What would you say to other single mothers facing impossible odds?" the host asks, her question carrying genuine curiosity rather than sensational drama. Sarah's response reflects 18 years of hard-won wisdom. "Your children don't need perfect circumstances. They need one person who never gives up on them." The children's futures unfold like flowers blooming after long winter. Maya attends Harvard Law School on partial scholarship, her settlement money covering remaining expenses while she studies family law and reproductive rights. Marcus studies fine arts, while his paintings hang in Jonathan's law firm, his traumatic childhood transformed into artistic expression that inspires other struggling families. Zara plays Division I basketball while studying sports medicine, her athletic achievements opening doors to medical school and professional sports therapy. Isaiah begins his MIT biochemistry program, researching fertility medicine ethics and ensuring future families don't suffer similar betrayals. Jonathan's integration into their lives proceeds with careful respect for existing bonds. He attends graduations as a proud supporter, offers career advice when requested, and provides the father figure they never had without attempting to replace relationships forged through struggle. The family purchases a house with settlement money, the first home where each child enjoys their own bedroom. Sarah walks through rooms that belong to them, touching walls that represent security she thought impossible when Derek abandoned them. "We made it, babies," Sarah whispers to herself in her own bedroom for the first time in 18 years. "We actually made it." Derek's consequences unfold with inevitable gravity. His real estate business never fully recovers from boycotts and reputation damage. Jessica takes their children and moves across the country, seeking distance from his choices and their consequences. He lives alone in his luxury apartment, surrounded by expensive possessions that can't fill emotional emptiness. The children maintain no contact with Derek, their decision final and peaceful rather than angry. They've closed that chapter of their lives with dignity and move forward without looking back. Some people spend their lives trying to fix what others broke, Maya observes during her first semester at Harvard. "We spent hours building something new." Marcus's art scholarship leads to a gallery showing titled Family Portraits, featuring paintings of his siblings and mother in moments of quiet strength and shared joy. Derek appears in none of the pieces, his absence more powerful than his presence ever was. Jonathan's relationship with his biological children teaches him that fatherhood isn't about genetics or timing, but about choice, consistency, and care. Through knowing them, he learns to value presence over perfection and commitment over convenience. Every year on their shared birthday, the family gathers for dinner at Sarah's house. Sarah cooks their favorite meals, Jonathan brings elaborate desserts, and they share stories of the year's achievements and challenges. Their celebration includes 5 people now, their circle complete, without the man who tried to destroy it. At their 19th birthday dinner, Sarah watches her children, now young adults, and reflects on their improbable journey from abandonment to achievement. "Derek thought he was saving himself from embarrassment," Sarah observes, her words carrying satisfaction rather than bitterness. "He actually saved you from growing up thinking conditional love was normal." Maya, now a second-year law student, interns at a family law clinic helping other abandoned families navigate legal challenges. Her personal experience provides insight textbooks can't teach. The people who stay matter more than the people who leave. Maya tells a client whose husband abandoned their disabled child, her words carrying authority earned through survival. The IVF clinic where Derek and Sarah's journey began shuts down permanently due to lawsuits and criminal charges. Jonathan's law firm represents dozens of families affected by Dr. Torres's unauthorized procedures, ensuring justice for victims while preventing future abuse. Sarah, now 43, works as a hospital administrator, helping other families navigate medical challenges and insurance complications. She wears her children's achievements not as armor against past pain, but as evidence of what love can build when it refuses to surrender. The family's story concludes not with dramatic reconciliation or Hollywood endings where Derek returns repentant, but with something more powerful. Proof that families thrive when built on choice rather than obligation, commitment rather than convenience. Sarah sits in her living room on a quiet Sunday afternoon, watching Maya study law, Marcus paint in the garden, Zara practice basketball in the driveway, and Isaiah read scientific journals. Jonathan grades legal briefs at the kitchen table, his presence comfortable rather than intrusive. The empty chair where Derek might have sat isn't missing. It was never needed. Their circle is complete, their foundation strong, their future bright, with possibilities Derek's abandonment tried to steal, but couldn't destroy. Blood may define genetics, but character defines family. The strongest families aren't built by perfect people. They're built by people who choose to stay. Derek thought leaving would save his reputation. Instead, he created 4 people who will spend their lives helping others like them. His abandonment became their purpose. His weakness became their strength. His failure became their foundation for success. Justice sometimes arrives not through punishment, but through the simple truth that love always wins when it refuses to quit.